Okay, let's take two. Hey everybody, Tori here with a live video for you today. Today I'm going to be making some mixed media tags. I did just try to go live, but the internet was not working, so I had to shut that down. So hopefully anybody who's waiting over there will come join me over here in just a minute. But while I'm waiting for some people to join me, I just want to kind of tell you a little bit about what I'm doing today. My plan for today is to make some really cool mixed media tags and to bring you along for the ride. So in my last live video, I had a couple people ask to see some mixed media tags and asked me for some tips on how to make them, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do a live video, a live scrap along with me to show you the supplies that I'm using and kind of make it with you. So hopefully we'll have fun together tonight, and if you have any questions as I'm going, you can always type them in and let me know what questions you have. So before we really dive into the mixed media, while we wait for a few more people to hop on, I think what I'll do is show you the supplies that I've pulled out. Now, if you are on my Facebook group, I did show you the supplies, or I had a list of supplies to bring with you, so I don't know if you brought the supplies, but I'll just kind of show you guys what I pulled out so that you know what I'm going to be using if you want to scrap along with me. If you don't want to scrap along with me, don't stress out about it. It's not a big deal. You could just stay for the chat and kind of maybe learn the techniques as I do them too, because I'm sure I'll be showing you guys some techniques. So I think it'll be really fun. So hey everybody, I know we've got a number of people joining tonight from different places. Yeah, you're right, Stephanie, you just gotta love technology. I mean, there's nothing you can do, you just have to deal with it. The Wi-Fi here in this area is just not good, so hopefully I won't lose you, that it won't be too bad of a connection. So I'm just gonna kind of truck on and hopefully the live video will work. I'm really excited. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to be using in terms of supplies, and if you are scrapping along with me, you might have brought some of these. I did grab some of these shipping tags, and these are just from Staples. I'm going to be using those tonight. I also pulled out some stencils. So I just have a whole bunch of different ones here. I pulled those out. I have some stamps, so I have some ink and some stamps behind me. I have some distress inks out, which I think I'm going to use. Some embossing powders, my embossing heat gun. I also have some paints in here. I kind of just grabbed out a bunch of things and thought we would kind of just play and have fun. So some of this I'm going to just move to the side for now. I'll show you some of the other supplies that I pulled out. I did pull out some embellishments, and I was originally planning on using some ephemera packs that I had, but I've had these 2 jars of color-coded embellishments for a while, and they kind of just sit there. I never use them. So I thought making some mixed media tags with you guys tonight would be a perfect solution to use up those embellishments. So we'll get to those later. And then I also grabbed out a water bottle, like a bottle full of water that you might want to use for distress inks. Let's see. I have some paints and stuff, just random ones. I've got these cool distress ink paint dabber things. Just some random paint from the dollar store. This is just acrylic paint. I don't know. We're going to just play and have fun and see what happens. It's going to be an adventure for all of us. Okay, I'm dropping things all over the place, but that's okay. It's going to be a mess tonight. I'm just warning you. And I did grab out this container, which also has some just random things in it. It's got a bunch of spray mists It's got some Gesso, gel medium, multi-medium modeling paste, some gelatos, a rolly thing. I don't know. Guys, I really just pulled out all of my mixed media supplies and thought, hey, let's just have fun. Let me just show you how I would kind of put tags together. If you want to scrap along with me and make something, you can. If you just want to chat and talk and have fun in the comment box, you can do that too. Really? The world is your oyster. So I hope that some of you are going to scrapbook along with me. CHSM23 says that she's doing mixed media right now, which is awesome. Anybody else going to plan on scrapbooking with me, making some mixed media tags? I really hope so. We're going to have fun. So I'm looking forward to it. So I have these mixed media tags, and again, these just come from Staples. Yay, Louise is scrapbooking, and so is a couple people. So I have these mixed media tags. I'm going to use these tonight, and my plan is to make a few. Now, here's my first tip for you guys for tonight. Whenever I make mixed media tags, I make a bunch of them all at the same time. I already have the supplies out, so why not just make a whole bunch of them? It doesn't really make sense to me to just make one. Typically, I'll make 10 to 20. So what do you guys think? Should I make 10, 20, maybe 20 tonight? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe we'll make 15, somewhere in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have these, and it doesn't matter if you have the same ones, if you have mini ones, if you have white ones. A couple people think I should make 30 or more. It doesn't matter how many tags you have or what size you're doing. You could have ones that are all different shapes and sizes. You could do that too. I'm just using these because that is what I had on my desk, what I had pulled out. So, okay, I'll make 20. I'll make 20. Why not? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20. Let's go for it. Let's make a whole bunch of them. So I have all my tags out in front of me. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my distressings. And what we're going to do to our tags tonight is we are going to make a mess. And I just want to tell you that it is okay to make a mess. When it comes to mixed media tags, my suggestion is have fun, make a mess, and sometimes you have to make a mess before you can make it look pretty. So you're going to be like, that looks gross, or I don't know what I'm doing, or whatever, and I just want to say don't stress out about it. So I have distressings. If you don't have distressings, you can do this first step with paint. You could use regular inks. I suggested water soluble. So you could use, like, if you had Color Theory inks, those ones are water soluble. If you don't have ink, you could use watercolor. So you could just grab a watercolor palette. And what we're going to do is we are going to start by adding just color on the bottom of all of these. And it's going to be the first layer of fun on our page. So I have this old Project Life box. As you can see, it's just a mess. And I'm going to use this for inking in so that I don't get ink all over my desk. If you don't care about your desk, you could just ink right on your desk. But I'm just going to do it in the box so that I don't make too much of a mess. Now, I taught a couple classes of mixed media tags at my local scrapbook store, and somehow I've lost all of my, what do you call them? Brushes, you know, like the mixed media brush thingamabobbers. I can't think of what they're called. So I'm just going to use the sponges and do it kind of like happenstancey. A couple of you are saying you love mess. That's good. I know not everybody loves mess. And sometimes it takes a little while to get to a place where you love mess. So It's okay if you don't love mess. We're gonna make this happen. So the plan is to use some colors and to add ink onto all of these texts. That's right. That's called, thanks Stephanie. It's called a blending tool. And I'm going to use a blending, I would use a blending tool, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to use the sponges as they are. Now, my first suggestion when making mixed media tags is all the colors look really pretty, and you're going to be tempted to use all the colors. I'm going to recommend that you don't use all the colors. I'm going to recommend that you stick with 2 or 3 colors, because if you use too many colors, it can end up looking like mud. And until you really know what you're doing and you're super confident with mixed media, I recommend sticking with 2 or 3. So I could either go with, and I'm thinking I might either do warm colors or cool colors today. So warm colors would be like the yellows, the reds, the pinks, or I could go with cool colors and do blues and greens. What do you guys think? Anybody have a preference? I could do 10. You know what? Why don't we do both, guys? Why don't we do both? I'll do 10 of the tags in warm colors and 10 of the tags in cool colors. 8, 9, 10. That sounds fun. Okay, so these ones are going to be my cool colored ones, and I'm going to use all of my blue and green distressing inks on these ones. And you could throw purple in there too if you wanted to, because purple is just fun. And obviously if you were doing like Christmas tags, or your tags had like a certain theme or vibe to them, you could, look at how many cool colors I have. You could also just go with like reds and greens, or just go with like all yellows and stuff like that. So, but I recommend sticking with 2 to 3 colors. Okay, so we're gonna start with these colors, and I'm gonna quickly tell you what they're all called just in case anybody's wondering. I have Chip Sapphire, Faded Jeans, Salty Ocean, Mermaid Lagoon, Peacock Feathers, Cracked Pistachio, Evergreen Bough, Pine Needles, Peeled Paint, Mowed Lawn, and Shaded Lilac. If you're, wait, did I say this one? Yeah, that's Mowed Lawn. If you're just using your own colors, like honestly, I don't think you should stress so much about which colors I'm using. I think instead you should focus on like just playing with what makes you happy and not stressing out about the colors. I'm really just telling you the colors because I know there's some people who have a lot of distress inks and might want to play along and actually have the actual colors in front of them. And if that's you, that's fine. That's why I'm telling you the colors. But honestly, I'm not telling you the colors to stress you out or to be like, oh no, I can't make the same tags as Tori. Okay. Here we go. Yes, I love Salty Ocean, and I love mini distress inks. They're my favorite. Honestly, I kind of want to collect them all, but I don't have them all, and if I had more money, I would collect them all. So here's what I'm thinking is first I'm going to start, and I'm just going to dip the sponge in the thing and then start moving it around on the page. If I had a mini distress ink tool, this would make this so much easier, but I don't have one, so whatever. If you're playing along with me, what you can do now is just start adding ink to your tags and stuff like that. Whether you're using paint or watercolors or whatever, just start adding the colors to your tags. And I'm gonna just use a whole bunch of these just for fun. And I'm kind of trying to go in circles, but it's kind of hard without a mini distressing tool. Anybody have any comments or questions? Stephanie says that she needs to buy more mini distress inks that she doesn't have. You know what I should have done is before I came home today, I should have just gone over to the local scrapbook store that we have here, and I should have just seen if they had any mini distressing tool blending tools. But I forgot that I didn't have any blending tools. So, whoops. Yes, you could use a wipe. That's a good point too, Kay. You could use a baby wipe for this if you wanted. That's a good idea. What am I using underneath? Nothing. I didn't put any gesso down or anything beforehand. I'm just using the mini distress inks right directly on the tag. You could add gesso beforehand if you wanted to. I am not. I feel like these tags, these shipping label tags, actually work really well, and you don't really need gesso to start. But if you were on like regular paper, then you might want to add gesso first. It's really up to you. Look, this matches my nails. I just did my nails before coming on the webinar because I wanted to This is not a webinar. This is a live video. I did my nails before the live video because I wanted my nails to look good for the live video. I did a webinar earlier today for work, so that's why I called it a webinar. But it's not really a webinar, it's a live video. And I'm just kind of smushing the ink, smooshing the ink on the page here. And I'm just starting with one color, but now that I've covered all 10 of these with the green inks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and add multiple colors. So this one already has green. I'm going to add in some of these other greens and blues and fun colors. I like to layer them. I think it just looks so pretty. And don't worry if it doesn't look good. It's going to look better by the end. I promise it'll get better. Do you trust me? I hope so. Most of you don't even really know me that well, so hopefully you trust me. Kay saying she has a love-hate relationship with gesso. Why do you hate it? I actually really love gesso. I mean, it's kind of expensive, especially in Ontario if you have to ship it to yourself. But I think gesso is really fun. I love it. I love what you can do, and I'm probably going to use some gesso today to tone down some of these colors, because a lot of these distress inks and the other paints and the spray mists and stuff that I'm thinking of using, they're really bright, and I tend to like tone down things. Oh, she never gets it on evenly. Yeah, I can see that. If you want it to be even and you can't get it on even, I could see how that would be frustrating. I usually don't really care about getting it on even. I kind of really like the idea of how it doesn't look even. I don't know if that makes sense. A lot of people say they don't use gesso in the start, but it does cover a multitude of mistakes. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so first I just blended the colors on, but I want to show you another technique that you can use for these mini distress ink blending tools. What you can do actually, and this is one of my favorite things, is to actually just rub it right on the tag, just like this, and not use an ink blending tool. And it kind of creates this really fun smushed look. And later when we add water, it's gonna create a really cool effect too. So if you're using distress ink, my suggestion would be try this, where you just kind of smush the ink pad right onto the page. And even if you're not using distress inks, if you're using water soluble, I don't know if I'm saying that word right, water solvable ink pads, you could do this with them too. Like if I was using my Color Theory inks. Water soluble just means that they interact with the water and they create cool effects. But that's why I love distress so much, because they create this really cool impact. Okay, now, so I showed you how to use the ink blending tool. I showed you how to just smush it. Another thing you can do is literally just take the ink pad and use it kind of like a stamp and make squares on some of your, see, just like that. Now, when I add water later, it is going to impact this, so it's not going to look as clean, but it kind of creates a fun effect. I don't know, have you ever done that? It sounds funny, and like I said, it looks bad in the beginning. So if your tags look bad to you, I wanted to say, I know that they will look bad for a little while. Don't stress out about it. Okay. And then another thing, so you can just kind of stamp them on there. One other thing you can do is to use the ink pads like on the edges of your tags. Kind of like how you would use a chalking ink. So you can either just use the ink pad directly on there like I am, where you kind of just rub it along the sides. But the other thing you could do is you could use the sponge to do that as well, and that'll create like a different effect too. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys how it looks when you do that. And I'm moving really quickly because I don't want this video to be 6 hours long. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys some different techniques you can do with your tools. Good idea. Do you like using the small distress ink better than... Yes, I love these so much more than the big ones. I have 3 or 4 of the big distress ink ones, and I don't like them. They cost more, and I feel like, I don't know, I just have more fun with the little ones. That's a great question. Thanks for that. Carmen. Look at how pretty this one. What color is this? This is my favorite, I think. Salty Ocean. Oh, we already talked about Salty Ocean. It's just such a pretty color. And remember, guys, you don't have to do it every single tag the same. You can kind of do this on the top of this one, but not go all the way around the page. It's really up to you. Okay, so there we go. I've added blues and greens to all of those tags. I'm going to move them to the side for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the warm colored ones now. So let me just move the thing that I love about these little ones is look how easily they stack. They just kind of stack together. It's perfect. It's like the best. Okay. Hopefully I didn't lose you. We're already at 20 minutes, so I am trying to move quickly tonight, but I guess we'll see. For these ones, I'm going to use some warm colors, but I'm also going to use some purple because I just love the way that purple looks with pinks and yellows and reds. I just think it looks so pretty. So let me pull out all of these warm colored colors, and I'll tell you what the names of them are. Again, if you guys have any questions, type them in. Happy to answer them. So I've got Fossilized Amber, which is so pretty. Spice Marmalade. I've got Barn Colors. Aged Mahogany. Fired Brick. Scattered Straw. Picked Raspberry. Spun Sugar. Mustard Seed. And Abandoned Coral. And I did pull out Seedless Preserves. And Kay, you are absolutely right. Purple is one of the the in colors. I don't know if it is an in color. But purple typically is a cool color, but I think that it can actually work really well with the pinks and yellows that I pulled out. So I pulled them out. I'm going to play with them just because I think that it'll add like a nice pop of color. So let's see which blending tools I have for each of these. I wish that I had a mini distressing thing. This is the problem. So I love doing classes, like especially like in person, local scrapbook store classes. But one of the hard things is like if you bring your own supplies and stuff, sometimes they just go missing. Like these just went missing. I thought I brought everything home, but apparently I didn't. That's a sad thing. Too bad, I guess. Too bad, so sad. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing, adding these warmer colors to the tags. While I'm doing that, does anybody have any questions? You can ask me any type of question. Crafty, scrapbooky related, or personal, whatever. I'm pretty much an open book. Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I should ask this or not, but you can ask me any question. Always happy to answer, or at least try to answer. Obviously, if somebody asked something that I felt really uncomfortable with, I might not answer, but I don't think I've had anybody ask a question that I haven't answered before. I don't know. You can see that this mixed media box that I'm using has gotten well loved. It's got like so many paints and ink splatters and everything in it. But I think that's why I love this box. Carmen's saying that the blending sponges can be replaced with white felt. Yeah, I have seen people do that. Yeah, that works really well. You can just add like a little, what do you call that? Like this one I'm just gonna rub on there. Velcro to white felt or something. If you want to use white felt instead of, I think this one might be really dry. Yeah, it's really dry, so I'm just gonna rub it on. This is my scattered straw. You can see it's like not very juicy anymore. It's okay. That's okay. That's okay. How many have you done? How many tags? Or how, like ever? I don't know, I've done a lot of tags. I'm doing 20 tonight, if you want to play along. I don't know. My suggestion would be is if this is your first time doing mixed media, or if you don't do mixed media a lot, that maybe tonight while I'm scrapbooking and I do 20, maybe you do like 5 or 6. Because 20 can kind of feel overwhelming, and I know that I'm moving super fast. The reason I'm doing that is because I was hoping to make this video about an hour, but we're already at half an hour, so I suspect it'll be longer than that. Who knows? We'll see. Carmen saying it's cheaper. Yeah, if you use white felt instead of these little top things, it definitely is cheaper to buy the white felt with Velcro. Good point, Carmen. She's such a smarty. She's using a square blending tool, but the color is way darker than yours. Can I fix it? You know what? Yes, we're gonna add gesso later, which is gonna tone everything down. But if yours are darker, like, I think that that's cool. So I wouldn't stress out about it, Mrs. C Scraps. I think it's gonna look good, even if yours are a lot darker than mine. And we're just doing one layer at a time, right? So this is just the first layer. We're gonna be doing like a ton more layers. So it'll all work out. And my philosophy, I know this one's really dry. My philosophy with mixed media is more is more. And my other philosophy with mixed media is that everything can be fixed. So if you don't like something, it can be fixed. We can add gesso on it. We can add paint on top of it. We can use, what do you call it? Sorry if the camera's shaking. We can add embellishments on top of things. Everything can be fixed. Kelly wants to know where I get my scrapbooking supplies. Do I order them online? Yes. I would say I order like 90% of my supplies online, just because the US stores are cheaper than the Canadian stores, even with shipping. And although I do occasionally go to the local scrapbook store, there's one that's right across from my office. Oh, that yellow is so pretty. Guys, mustard seed, beautiful. I don't buy a lot of stuff there, just stuff that I can't find online. Good question. Where do you order your online supplies from? Well, my favorite for embellishments is definitely Freckled Fawn. I love Freckled Fawn. And I sometimes get stuff from Simon Says Stamp or Paper Issues. Paper Issues usually has good prices. And they typically have everything. Sometimes I feel like Simon Says Stamp is like sold out. So, I don't know. I also order stuff from Amazon every once in a while. Usually my page protectors and stuff like that will come from Amazon because it's cheaper. I order Felicity Jane kits sometimes, though I just canceled my subscription. So, where else do I get things from? Those are the places I usually order everything from. I don't understand, Kate. You want to know how many live chats I've done? Maybe 3 or 4? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. Guys, these colors look so pretty. Carmen wants to know if I'm doing any missions trips. I did go to Bolivia last year. I don't think I'm going to go this year. I would love to, but it's so expensive. And obviously I would have to raise money, and it's kind of difficult to raise money sometimes. So that's kind of why I'm thinking maybe I won't go this year and maybe take a year off, and then next year I'll try to raise money to go on one. I don't know. I really do love going. And El Hardan, the mission that I've gone to the last 4 years, I know that they would really love for me to come and help with training, like abuse prevention training, which is what I did last time. I did that part of the time while I was there. But I just changed churches this year, and the church that I'm going to now is really small, and I don't really know a lot of people. So I think it will be harder for me to raise money in a small church where I don't know people. So maybe I'll go in the future. But I would let you guys know if I was going. And if there was any way that you guys could help, because I know sometimes people want to know that. Mrs. C Scrap, my tags are also almost craft card. Yeah, if you're doing it on craft cardstock, that can impact the color too. So that is A-OK, Mrs. C Scraps. Yeah, my little sister, she does humanitarian work. She is currently at home though. Okay, so here we go, guys. I have my warm colors. I have my cool colors. Look how pretty they look. And now the next step is to add some water. So yes, she did send me a hippo. Actually, she's given me 2 hippos. They're right here. Look how cute they are. Super cute. I'm gonna add some water. So if you have a water in a spray bottle, you can use that. If you just have a jug of water, you can just kind of use your fingers or a paintbrush or whatever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water, which will start to make the tags and the colors blend together really well. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to answer Carmen's question. So Carmen says, Tori, since I can't buy or spend a lot of money, since your tags look like manila folders, or at least the color, could I buy folders and cut it up in the same shape of tags, or are there any special tags? Yeah, you could definitely just use folders and cut them up. These tags that I bought, Carmen, I got in a pack from Staples that has like 100 tags in it. Where did that pack go? This pack here, Staples shipping tags, and this pack of 100 maybe cost me $2 or $3. So that might be a solution for you if you don't want to spend a lot of money. I've even seen tags like similar shipping tags at the dollar store, so I would check out the dollar store too. But you definitely could just get like a manila folder and cut that up. That would be a good solution too. Okay, so I've laid out my colorful warm colored tags. And I have spray bottle, and I'm just This is just like a Downy wrinkle release bottle that I had left over, and it's got water in it. And I'm going to just lightly mist each of the tags 2 or 3 times to kind of get the colors going. And you can already start to see the colors blending, and it creates such a cool impact, such a cool effect. If you weren't using distress inks and you were using water soluble inks, it might do something cool too. If you're using paint, if you're using watercolors, then maybe you don't want to add water because it might get too watery. But I am using water because of the distress inks, they react with water. Guys, look, you can already kind of start to see them do really cool things. And if you like what it's doing, or if you want to stop it from getting too messy, you can just grab some paper towel and dry them down. I love it. The color is like really brightening up too. Okay, so I'm just gonna put those ones aside for a second. And I'm gonna grab out the cool color ones, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I love how distress inks react with water. It's like my favorite part of it. And you'll notice I'm not using too much water. I'm probably using 1 or 2 sprays per tag or across the whole thing. I find if you add too much water, the tags can start to like disintegrate, and it could actually like do more harm than good. So, but yeah, the water kind of starts to pool up and create like really cool blends with the colors and stuff. Yeah, but remember, this is just level 1, or not level 1. This, I feel like I'm in a board game or something. This is not level 1. This is just like step 1. So don't stress too much. We're gonna be adding more. Okay. Oh, you can also do it with like oxides. Yes, I don't have any oxides from Tim Holtz. I would love some oxides. That would be fun. They do really cool impacts too. So you guys can start to see the colors like blending together. It's really fun. And like, look at how some of them are starting to look more like watercolory and blend together and stuff. It's really fun. Okay. So what you can do now is you can either let them dry. You could use a heat gun if you wanted to. Mine aren't that wet because I didn't spray them. Oh, you want me to hold them up close? Let's see. Can you see them there? Let's see if this works. You can use your heat gun to dry them if you need to. I'm not sure if you can, if the camera's picking this up. So there we go. So I'll just hold them up close for you guys so you can see. Yay! They look so pretty. Here we go. Yeah, I really like how they're starting to blend. Okay, there we go. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with the same colors of distress ink, and I'm going to add more ink and blend it more. Now, if your tags are really wet, you might want to dry them with a heat gun or paper towel or something. Mine don't feel that wet, and I think it's because I didn't add that much. I didn't add that much water. So I'm going to grab out the same colors as I used before, and I'm going to re-ink them and add a second layer of ink to all of these tags. Really just for fun and to add more color. So it'll be fun, guys. Trust me. So you can start to blend in where the other colors are. You can blend a little darker. You can add more to the edges if you want to. It's really up to you. And if you like your tags where they are and you don't want to go any further, you can also stop and not add any more distressing. But I kind of like the look of multiple distress inks on top of each other. I just kind of think it creates a really cool impact when you have multiple colors on top of other colors. I just really like the way that it looks, and because I'm only using 2 or 3 colors, the blue, the green, and the purple, it all looks good, all the different colors together. So just keep going until you're happy, and then add a little more. That's kind of my perspective. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Any other questions? Yeah, okay, it kind of does have like a tie-dye look. Like it kind of looks a little tie-dye. You could do the same thing kind of with like watercolors. Maybe some other time I'll do a video and I'll show you how I would use watercolors for my backgrounds. I'm just using distress inks right now, but we'll be using some other colors and sprays and all those good things later. It's very hard without the blending tool, but I'm making it happen. That's why I think like sometimes we get so stressed out about having the same tools as somebody, but like if you know the techniques and you just kind of play, it'll all of our tags are gonna look different, but they're all gonna look so cool. So it's almost the weekend. I'd love to know what you guys are doing this weekend. You can type it in the question box and let me know. I want to hear what everybody's doing. You know what I'm doing this weekend? My little sister, this is so sad. I mean, it's not sad, but it's kind of sad a little bit. My little sister is getting married in August. I think if you follow me on social media, you probably already knew that. And it's her bachelorette this weekend. So on Saturday is her bachelorette. And I'm like, what? She's growing up. It's kind of crazy. I tell you, kind of crazy. But it's also really special. Like, I'm really happy for her. It's just kind of like, oh, my little sissy. Because, like, I still kind of think of her like a little girl sometimes. What colors is she using in her wedding? Well, it's going to be really bright and colorful because she lives in Africa, so she has some African fabric. And the African fabric is like yellows, greens. It's actually kind of more with these colors. There are some really pretty bright colors in there too. I actually have the fabric right behind me. Here, I'll show you guys. You guys want to see the fabric? Good. It's exciting. I'm going to be making bunting for her wedding, and so she bought this fabric for me to use. So there's this yellow. That one's really pretty. She's using this teal color with the green. These two teal colors. Super pretty. And then we also have like a lime green kind of color. I don't know if you call that lime green. This really pretty teal color. And then this really pretty like burgundy color we're also throwing in there. So yeah, we're going to be making bunting out of these for the wedding. It's going to be really pretty. So you can see we already kind of started to cut out some of the triangles, and then I have to sew them all and then sew them into seam binding or whatever. But yeah, it's really pretty. I'm excited about the colors. I can't wait to scrapbook it. It's not necessarily like my colors. Like, you guys know me. I really love like pinks and yellows and mint and stuff like that. But she likes more earthy tones. So, and it's her wedding, right? So we're going with her colors, not mine. I think it's gonna look really cute. I'll have to show you guys pictures once I finish the bunting, and I'm gonna be decorating her wedding for her. So I'm making a bunch of decorations and stuff. So maybe I'll videotape some of the decorations as I make them, or just share them on Instagram or whatever. So you should check out my Instagram channel. It's not a channel. Check out my Instagram if you want to see projects as I make them. Some of them I might post here. I don't know. Do you guys, like, if I make bunting or if I make other decorations, do you want me to make videos of them? I wasn't really sure, like, because it's not really scrapbooking. Like, I wasn't sure if that's something that I should share on my YouTube channel. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, there's the cool colors done. Gonna do the warm colors now. What is bunting? It's like, it may also be called like pennant banners, like triangles, you know, like, I don't know. Maybe there's a different word for it. She calls it bunting, but it might be called something else. Maybe it's called, what do you call it? Like banners with triangles? Does that make sense? Like a bunch of triangles in a row with string in the middle. I don't know. That's like the worst description ever, but I can't think of how you would describe it. Maybe somebody else can help me in the comments and let me know what you call it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just adding a bunch of pennant banner. Yeah, I think you could call it that. Yeah, it's for decorations. So her wedding is going to be outside. It's like at a cottage, and we're planning on hanging this like pennant banners throughout the woods. It'll be really pretty, like from tree to tree kind of thing. And then I'm going to be making some like tin cans for candles and I don't know, lots of random things. And I'm going to be making some large like paper rosette things for decorations. I don't know, lots of different things, some signs and stuff. It's going to be like a very cottagey, romantic, woodsy, outdoorsy kind of feel. Okay, there we go. I feel happy with these. So I've added more distress ink to each of these tags, and I'm gonna spray them down with water in just a second, but while I do that, before I do that, I'm gonna just put some of these away. Kay's saying floating candles are pretty. Yeah, I was actually thinking that that might look good. She really wants mason jars, and I saw this picture on Instagram of like floating candles in mason jars, and they look so pretty. So that might have to happen, Kay. Good suggestion. Okay, so those of you who are scrapping along with me, I hope you're able to stay caught up. I know I'm moving really quickly. I'm doing that on purpose because I want to be finished. While I'm clearing any suggestions on masculine embellishments. Masculine embellishments. Yeah, I would recommend checking out like Wild Whisper. I'm on their design team, and I kind of feel like their papers and embellishments and things tend to be like a little more masculine. Like the colors and things like that. I mean, it's not all masculine, but they have like woodsy, outdoorsy things and animals and the like, and it kind of tends to be a little more masculine looking. Okay, so Back to this, I have a plan, and instead of spraying it with water again, instead I'm going to spray it with gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. Now, I think gold looks good with all the colors, so that's why I'm using this. If you don't have gold, you could use water. You could use another color, but I would recommend using like a metallic like gold, silver, something like that, because I think it'll look really good. And the water or the wetness of this mist actually does create the same effect that water does on the tags. So I'll show you in a second. It needs to be mixed really well because otherwise all the color kind of goes to the bottom of the jar. So let's see. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna lay out all the tags in the box. Hopefully I'm going to avoid getting gold spray mist all over my desk. And I'm going to gently, if this works, it's not coming out. There we go. Spray the tags 1 or 2 times, and it kind of creates like a gold shimmer across all of the tags. Now in a couple places it didn't come out like really well. It left kind of more of a splatter, but I am okay with that because my plan is after spraying them all 2 or 3 times, I'm going to take the lid off and kind of just tap it to get some extra gold splatters just because the gold looks so pretty. And I love the way that it looks. Even the big splotches. Look at that, guys. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Kay says my box looks so normal and hers looks like a crime scene. I don't know if it, well, does it look normal? It looks gold. Like this top piece looks very gold because I like to use gold Heidi Swap Color Shine a lot. I don't know. I think beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So this just creates like a really pretty gold shimmer across the tags. And I love it so much, guys. Like I just think it's so pretty. And you can kind of lift them up if you want the drops that you've done to kind of, what do you call it? Like roll down the page or whatever. Drip. That's the word I was looking for. So for some reason when I make these live videos, I cannot think of words. I can't think of words. Like I've lost my whole entire vocabulary. So some of them have more than others, some of them have less, and I am, instead of drying them, I'm literally just going to stack them on top of each other for now, and I'm going to dry them later. Instead, I'm kind of just going to let them sit there with the ink on them and do these pink ones. So again, I'm just kind of laying them all out, and the reason I like to lay them all out like this when I spray them is because I don't want them to be perfect. It kind of just gives them all that like shimmer of gold across them. And any that you want like more gold, you can get a little closer. It's really up to you. I like to kind of spray from 2 to 3, 4 inches away. I just like the way that that looks. And the gold looks like stunning with these pinks and yellows. I love it. Guys, it looks so pretty. This is my favorite gold mist. Heidi Swap Color Shine. Okay, so there we go. I've sprayed them all with the gold shimmery mist. I have done the cool color ones, I've done the warm color ones, and I've added some ink splatters. Now, what I really need to do, guys, is I do need to use my heat gun to dry them. It's probably going to be kind of loud. So I don't know how to get around that. My suggestion is that if you don't like the noise, maybe turn your volume down for a second. And when you see the heat gun disappear, then you can turn the volume up again. I'm really sorry, but I have to do it. Okay? So turn your volume down. Just gonna dry them all off here. Hopefully it's not too loud. Good, it's not that bad. Yeah, I love this heat tool too. It's so pretty. Okay, so they're still a little wet, but it's pretty good. It's good enough for me to move on to the next step. So I think you guys should see them up close. So I'm gonna just share all of them with you because I think they look so pretty. Honestly, I actually kind of think that you could stop right now and not do anything else to these tags and just them as they are because they look so gorgeous. If you want to keep going, you can keep going, but you don't need to because I actually think they look really pretty. So I'm gonna stand up and show them to you. I love how, I'm gonna turn the lamp on for a sec to help with the light. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if that doesn't help. Here we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. It kind of gives you like a really pretty gold shimmery look to each of the tags. They look so pretty. Honestly, I think you could just stop right there and your tags would be gorgeous. Yeah, a couple people really like them. They do kind of look like the pages of a fairy tale book. They turned out really well. Thanks, Hannah. I think they're super cute. You're scrapbooking along with me. Tell me how yours look. I'd love to hear in the comments. Okay, so I've added gold mist to all of them. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to continue to layer on them because I kind of like the look of lots of layers on top and on top and on top of each other, and I feel like it really adds to the definition. So, Kay saying it looks like a crime scene over there. That is okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add some stamping. And And I just grabbed out some stamps here. And I have a stamp pad somewhere. Here we go. And I'm just going to add some stamps to the background. And what I wanted to do is grab some stamps that I thought would look good as background stamps. So sometimes your stamp pads will come with like random shapes and stuff. And often they'll look really cute on your tags. So I'm just going to put a few of them right on my ink. What do you call these? Acrylic blocks. Told you guys I lose words when I'm working. Actually, I'm going to just ink it and then change to another one. So the first one I'm using comes from this stamp set by Katie Therejeung and Studio Calico. Had this one for a while. And I'm just using black, but you could use a different color if you want to. And I'm just going to kind of add some stamps to the backgrounds. Some I'm going to double stamp. I don't want them to be perfect, guys. I actually think it looks better if your stamping isn't necessarily perfect, because remember, we're just kind of creating the background layers here. And you can use any stamps. Okay, don't throw your things in the garbage. I'm sure they look pretty. You have to share them with me before you throw them in the garbage. As in, you have to take a picture of them and share them on my Facebook page so that I can see them. Because I'm sure they're not as bad as you think they are. Sometimes we're our own worst critic. Actually, most of the time we're our own worst critic. Thanks, Louise. She says so far she's loving them. That's nice. A couple people think Kay should go live so we can see her tags. That would be nice. Although you probably can't watch 2 live videos at the same time. I agree, Hannah. I think once you add more layers, Kay, they're gonna look okay. Like, I think the first few times I did mixed media, I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This looks horrible. But the more you do it, the more you realize that it's not as bad as you think it is. Hello in Italy. Like, my stamping is not perfect, and I'm not, like, really worrying about it. I'm kind of just playing. Which I think is what you should do here. This stamp comes from Feed Your Crafts and Brandy Kincaid. But again, I don't think which stamp you're using really matters. I think what matters is that you're playing with your supplies and actually using them. Is, I think, what is the best. This is not Stays On. This is an Illustrated Faith black ink. But you could use Stays On. I would use Stays On. I typically use Stays On, but my Stays On ink is actually dry. So I cannot use it, unfortunately. Here's another Feed Your Crafts by Brandy Kincaid stamp. And I'm just going to use these stars. And basically my rule of thumb is I'm just kind of using whatever looks good to me. I'm going to make it work. And I feel like so often as creators and crafters, we have supplies, but we don't use them because for whatever reason, we buy things and we just don't use them. Look at how pretty those stars are. And I feel like doing mixed media tags like this is like a great way to like pull out your supplies and actually play with them. And like, because I'm not trying to be perfect, it doesn't really matter how I use them. What matters is more that I am using them. Does that make sense? It's good. Also, I don't clean my stamps. So hopefully that doesn't stress anybody out, because I know there's some people who are like probably horrified that I am not using, that I am not cleaning my stamps. Here's another Feed Your Crafts by Brandy Kincaid. This is a Christmas one, but I really like these little asterisks asterisks. What's the plural of asterisks? Asterisks, let's say. I just think they're super cute. So I'm going to use some of those on my tag. We're just adding layers to get the effect here. And obviously I'm moving very fast, and I'm doing that on purpose because I think the faster you move, the less you can overanalyze what you're doing. My computer's gonna die. What you don't? I don't understand. Are you asking me a question, or are you responding to somebody else, Carmen? Somebody's saying I'm very good. I don't really know. That's very nice of you to say. I'm not even going to try to say your name. It sounds like French. But I'm sure I would very much screw it up, and I don't want to look like an idiot on my live video. Although I'm sure I already kind of do look like an idiot sometimes. But I'm just going with it because the truth is, guys, sometimes it can be kind of difficult to do a live video and not feel like you look like an idiot the whole time. So I'm just not going to say your name in French. Carmen's like, clean your stamps. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, Carmen. I mostly just use black ink anyway, so why do I need to clean my stamps if all I ever use is black ink? I have so many different ink colors, and I never use them. Anonymous, hello in Brazil. That's awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Or is it the morning there? I don't even know. What time is it in Brazil? Those of you who are joining from the UK, you've probably left now because I forgot how late it is in the UK. My brother lives in the UK. He's awesome. These stamps, by the way, I think are from A Beautiful Mess, I want to say. A long time ago. Don't know if it's even available anymore. That's so nice. I love it when people say they love me. That's so sweet. I'm just kind of pulling out random stamps, anything that I think would look good. These ones are some more Studio Calico Life Love paper designed them. And there's these shapes that are supposed to go in the buildings, but I actually think they make really great background stamps. So that's how I'm using them. It's 1 a.m. Where are you? And why are you still awake? Am I that interesting? Go to bed. No, I'm just teasing. I'm glad you're here, but wow. 1 a.m. and you're still listening to me? That's so sweet. Thank you, Mrs. C. Scraps. Am I in the U.S.? Kay wants to know. No, I am not. I'm in Canada. I live in Toronto. Toronto, Ontario. Well, actually, I live just north of Toronto. But I like to say Toronto because most people don't know where Stouffville is. And I actually don't even like Stouffville that much. I like to say I'm a Torontonian. If I could move to Toronto, I would. Because I love Toronto. Such a beautiful city. So again, guys, we're just kind of playing here and just adding random stamping, adding to the backgrounds here. It's 9 p.m. in Italy. Or what, 9 p.m. where? Do you hunt bear in Canada? No, I don't hunt bear. I live in a city. There's no bears here. Also, I don't like guns. Another reason why you probably know that I'm from Canada, because Canadians don't really have guns. I wouldn't even know how to shoot a bear or hunt a bear. That's such a funny question. I wouldn't even know what to do. Carmen's from Florida. I love that Mrs. C. Scraps is here, even though it's 1 a.m. or whatever time it is, because she's trying to do her tags. Honestly, Mrs. C. Scraps, I am sure that your tags are not as bad as you think they are. I think that you're probably being a little more difficult with yourself than you probably need to be, because I bet your tags are not that bad. Remember, we're our own worst critic. Like, actually, I'm like, what am I doing here? It would be really sad if I made this whole entire video and then we got to the end and we're like, yeah, Tori, those tags didn't really work out very well. Remember what I said earlier? Everything can be fixed. Don't give up. Okay, there we go. I've added my stamping, so that's done. You have a friend in Canada who hunts bear, Kay? That's awesome. Yeah, I like to scrapbook, which happens indoors. I don't go camping. I don't like the outdoors. I've never been camping. I never want to be outdoors. I know people love camping, not me. Indoors, scrapbooking, supplies, and Netflix. That's what I want. Okay, so we've added our stamping to our tags. So we have our distress inks in the back. We have our stamping. We have lots of goodies happening. And actually, they're starting to come together, guys. Don't give up on me. Okay. The next thing I want to add, I don't know, embossing powders, maybe? I think embossing powder would be nice. Okay, let's do embossing powder next. So I have my jar of embossing powders. I have my heat gun. I have some ink, because you need ink to get your embossing powders to stick. I'm using Versamark. If you don't have Versamark, you can just use your distress inks or glue. That'll help. And normally what people do is they use a stamp pad and they stamp the Versamark on the thing and then they spread the powder on top of it and they'll do that. I am not going to do that. That's too easy. We're trying to do something fun tonight, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this box for a minute. I'm going to grab a piece of paper, and you can just grab a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to grab my Versamark ink pad, and I'm going to grab clear embossing powder. Now, I like clear because I kind of feel like I can still see what's in the background, but it still adds texture. But you can really use anything you want. I might go back and add some gold just because that's fun. Yeah, let's do that. I'll do clear first and then gold. If you have other colors, you can use that. If you don't have embossing powders, you can skip this step. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm not going to use an ink pad. Instead, I'm just going to take my Versamark ink, which is like a sticky ink, and I'm going to just actually spread it, kind of stamp the tags a little bit, and I'm not trying to be perfect. I really just want the embossing powder to go on lightly. So I'm going to do a few tags at a time. I really just want a little bit on there to create some fun texture. And I'm not trying to be perfect with spreading it on there. If this scares you, pull out a stamp if you want to do that. You can do that too and actually just stamp the Versamark on there. But I kind of like the impact of just using the ink pad right on the tag. And you can see that it creates like a fun effect. It's going to look amazing. I think you're right. So I'm not going to heat them up just yet. I'm going to put them to side. Just because I kind of want to heat them all at the same time. So I'm just going to keep going. Smush the ink pad on the tag in a few places. And then sprinkle the clear embossing on the tag and stick it to the side. And I'm not smushing it too hard, just lightly, to kind of add some texture to my tags. Thank you, that's very nice of you guys. Everybody's like excited about how they look. Well, we're not even done yet. That's the best part about mixed media tags, is the more layers you add, the cooler they look. And if you're using colors, that's kind of fun too, because it's gonna create a whole other look on your tags, which is kind of fun. I'm excited to see everybody's tag. So after the live video is done, I really hope that you guys will share it with me. Hey Valerie, I agree. Better late than never. If you're just popping on now, that's awesome. I know there's some people who's had to leave for lunch or dinner or to sleep because it's late for some people. Valerie, we're just making mixed media tags. We added some ink, we added some stamping, we added some gold mist. Now we're playing with our embossing inks. If you have any questions, type them in the question box and we can try. So obviously I've already spread out all of the powder, so I'm just kind of scooping it up to add it back on. Hey Val. Does anybody call you Val? Like, I always want to call you Val, but I'm not sure if you like that. And then I'm like, oh, after I do it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have called her Val. Have you got a number you'd like us to use well on Instagram? Mrs. C Scrap says. You can just tag me, Tori_Bissell, or you could use a hashtag. Let's come up with a hashtag, guys. And then everybody could tag their tags. Haha, get it? Tag your tags with the hashtag. What should the hashtag be? Anybody have any suggestions? Carmen says her son is watching. Hey, George. I hope you're having fun watching, George. Do you have any questions, George? Okay. All of my tags have clear embossing powder on them. So I like that. Okay, so Mrs. C Scraps suggests that we use the hashtag Tori's tags. So if you're sharing your projects on Instagram or Facebook, use the hashtag Tori's tags so that I can come check out your tags because I want to see them. It is kind of hard to work with mixed media, but the truth is the more you do it, the better it gets. And Valerie says lots of people call her Val. She started introducing herself to people as Valerie, but for some reason they have always heard people call her Val. Well, I think it's just cute. I like Val. Okay, I'm going to use the heat gun again, so if you want to turn down the sound, you can. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the embossing powders on my tags and melt them so that it sticks to the tags. pause this for a second. I love the way that it's looking, so I think it's really fun the way that the the clear is looking on the tags. So I'm gonna just keep going, but I did want to say hi, Lynn, because she just popped on. We're making some mixed media tags, and I am heating up some clear embossing powder right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, they look so pretty, guys. I'm so excited. Okay, now we're gonna do one more step with the embossing powder. So don't put them away just yet. What I'm going to do is I am going to grab out my stencils for the next step. And I just have a whole bag of stencils here. And just to keep it simple for today, I'm just going to use these 3. I'm going to just use 3, I think. Maybe 4. I'll use 4. And what I'm going to do is I am going to actually use my Versamark ink through the stencil. So I'm going to lay the stencil down on top of my tag, and I'm going to use the Versamark ink through the stencil. You have to push pretty hard for this to work, but it should work okay. And then you can just spread the gold or whatever color you're using, and you can see it picks up the stencil that you've used, and it's going to add this really pretty shimmery gold hearts or whatever color you're using. Like if you're not using gold, you're using another color, then it's going to be that color. So my plan is to do the same thing I did last time, to do them all at once. So I'm going to just grab a couple more tags. I might not do all of the tags this way, and I'm just going to lay the stencil on top and just squish the Versamark ink through the stencil, just like so, and then spread the embossing powder on top. And it looks so pretty. I love it. Guys, how are your tags working out? I hope they look good. And if they don't look good, we're gonna fix it. Kay says she has to leave. Thanks so much, Kay, for joining me and for all your comments. I really appreciate it. How do you find out about future live events? My recommendation would be to check out my Scrap Your Scraps Facebook group, because I typically post about them there. Sometimes I just go live randomly, but I'm going to try to get better about posting on my Facebook group. I like to do videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and if I don't have a video ready, then I like to do live videos. So, yeah, it really just depends on if I have a plan. Sometimes I have a plan, sometimes I don't have a plan. Guys, this looks so good. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm not going to do all the tags. I'm just going to do 3 more. You could do all your tags if you want to, but I kind of want to finish soon. I was really hoping this live video would be an hour, and it's been an hour and a half. So, I'm going to do 3 more. And add a little more gold. It looks so pretty, guys. I'm so psyched about this. Thanks, Lynn. I really appreciate that. I don't know if I really am patient. I really just like playing, and this is kind of what happens when I play. It's kind of messy, but that's okay. That's the fun part. Just be warned that gold embossing powder gets everywhere. I haven't even eaten dinner. See, this is why I told you I really only wanted the video to be an hour. So, we're almost done. Those of you who are still up at 1 a.m., we're almost done. I'm going to have gold everywhere, but that's okay. If you have dryer sheets with you, they work really well to clean it up. If you don't have dryer sheets, baby wipes also work well. So I usually just grab like baby wipes and wipe down my desk and my hands. But just be warned, you will be covered with gold embossing powder for days. Okay, and I'm going to turn on the heat gun for just a few minutes to just heat up those last few tags that I added gold to. So you might want to turn your volume down. Okay guys, there we go. I'm really excited about it. I'm just gonna hold them up so you guys can check them out. Some of them I added the gold embossing, some of them I didn't. The fun thing about mixed media, especially when you're doing it on multiple tags, is you can kind of make a decision whether you want to do something on some of them or not do it. It really is up to you. For the other tags, you could add gold, you could add foil, you could add, that's a great suggestion, Anonymous. You could add paint, you could add embossing powders, you could add modeling paste. Really, the world is your oyster. I'm going to not add embossing powder today. I've already added embossing powder. I'm not going to add modeling paste just because it takes so long to dry. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off the tags with one more step. I think I'm going to skip embellishing them tonight and just embellish them later and then show you guys a video later or post them on my social media, the finished projects. But what I want to do is I actually want to tone them down a little bit. They're super bright and super vibrant. And if you like them that way, my suggestion is stay that way, like keep them and just stop there. But if you are feeling like your colors are a little bright or you feel like your tags just need to be toned down a little bit, what you can do is add some white gesso or some white paint, and it can do wonders to tone things down. And there's different ways that you can apply it. You can apply it with a rolling thing like this. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just get some white paint on it, and then I kind of just add some white gesso to some of the tags, and it really tones it down a lot when you just add a teeny tiny bit of white to it. I like the way that that looks. But again, you could stop before this if you like the way your tags looked without it. So, I like the whites. So I'm going to add just a little bit of white. I feel like it just adds a little more definition. Thanks, guys. Your comments are always so sweet. And you can still see all the layers underneath. You're kind of just adding another layer of definition to your tags. So again, you can use a paintbrush, you can use a roller like I am, you can use baby wipes, and I'll probably use baby wipes for some of them. So just give me a second. I'm going to do a few more like this. Just because I figure, well, I already have the tool out, so I might as well use it. And again, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just adding it on lightly in some areas, a little thicker in other areas. Really just going with whatever works. So I have a baby wipe here. And I'm going to just even add some white gesso with the baby wipe and tone it down. See ya, CHSM23, she says she's going to bed. Totally get it. And if you really don't like a tag, add more gesso. You'll still get the layers underneath, but you kind of get the look of that. And you can either rub the baby wipe on there, or you can kind of just pat it like this, and that creates a cool look too. Really, like I said earlier, the world is your oyster. So just kind of play and have fun. Learn from me. What do you like? What do you not like? Do you like it when it's smushed on there? Do you like it when it's patted? Do you like using a paintbrush? Do you like using a baby wipe? Do you like a sponge? Really go with whatever makes you happy. You can add no gesso, you can add lots of gesso. Thanks, Hannah. Hannah says they look really good. That's really sweet, Hannah. Valerie says she did watch my Xmas video on tags, but she needs to go back and watch them from the beginning, and she needs to get some tags to play. I think that's the key, Val, is just playing with your supplies. Like, the more that you play, the more you'll kind of figure out what you like, what you don't like. And you just kind of need to play to get that. Because often until you play, like, you just don't know. You can even use your finger if you want to spread the gesso on there. That gives another look. And I like the gesso because I think it tones things down. And I like it when it's toned down, but I know some people like things bright. So you could also just leave it as it is. I would say, like, go with what feels right to you. I don't know. Do you guys like them toned down, or did you like them before when they were brighter? I don't know. I always feel like that's kind of mixed. Some people like it toned down, some people don't. And you could always go back and add more color on top if you wanted to. Like, you could grab some spray mist and spray them again with a color if you wanted to. Kari says she likes them both ways. Yeah, I like them both ways. I like them bright, but I really like them toned down too. So I kind of struggle with knowing when to stop, but I like them toned down. And if you really like the gold and you feel like the gold, like the shimmeriness of the gold is missing, you could just spray them again with the gold, which is kind of fun. So again, like I said, the world is your oyster. I just felt like they were feeling really bright, so I wanted to tone them down. And I know some of you were saying your colors felt really bright. Mrs. C. Scrubs, you like mine better than yours? That's because you're too hard on yourself. I'm sure your tags look great. Somebody watching this is like, stop with the paint. They liked it before. Okay, so I think I've added enough gesso. Now that my hands are completely covered, I'm just gonna wipe it off with a baby wipe. So it just is a little too messy for me right now. And just gonna, I mostly just use this with white paint. I don't know why I always clean it off, but I feel like if I don't, then one day I'm gonna regret it. One day I'm gonna be like, I should have cleaned that thing off because now I want to use black ink and it's not working. It's one of those things, you know, you never know. Okay, and I think that they look really good, but you could always go back and add more splatters, more mists. I kind of want to add a little more gold to them because I'm going with the gold theme tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them out messy, like so. I'm going to grab my stencils from before, and I'm gonna lay the stencils out messy on top of them. Again, I'm not trying to be perfect here. And I'm gonna spray them again with gold mist. So Lynn is asking, do I have a project in mind for these tags? No, I don't. But now that I've done them, Lynn, I kind of think it would be kind of fun to do like a mini album with them. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe we could do another live video where I do a mini album. And I am spraying the gold mist through the stencils onto the tags. Again, not being perfect, just kind of spraying it. And the stencils aren't really doing a lot other than just kind of breaking up the mist a little bit so it doesn't spray it as much. But it kind of creates like a cool impact to give more gold. And if you don't want to waste any ink and you have it on there, you can kind of just flip your stencil over if you want to. You don't have to. I like to not waste anything, so I do it just for fun. I don't know if it really makes an impact. And there you have it. There's the tags. I'm going to let them dry and maybe back them all with paper, and I think it would be really fun to do a mini album with tags. So maybe that's what I'll do on Saturday for a video. Who knows? So I think I'm going to leave you guys there. I feel like I'm kind of giving you lots of tips and techniques for tonight, and hopefully you had fun playing and scrapbooking along with me or crafting along with me, making some mixed media tags. And why don't we make a mini album together? So I will come up with a plan, and then I'll let you guys know when the next video is going to be, so we can use our mixed media tags in a mini album all together. And also, I would really love to see your finished mixed media tags. So if you made mixed media tags with me tonight, or if you are making them later because you're gonna watch this video back, please, please, please share your mixed media tags. Use the hashtag that Mrs. C Scraps, I think it was, came up with earlier, which was hashtag Tori's Tags. Tori's with an S, Toristags. And share your tags with me on Instagram, on Facebook, on wherever you could email them to me too. I can't wait to see your tags. I love you all so much. Thanks for joining me tonight for this live video. Those of you who it's like 1 a.m. in the morning, go to bed. And I'm going to go eat something because I haven't eaten dinner and I'm hungry. And I love you all so much. Can't wait to see you next time when we make a mixed media tag mini album together. It's going to be epic. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.